Hello everyone, it's Cam from Arsenal Theory, and today is going to be actually a video about Man United. After what I saw yesterday, I feel like I had to do this video for the sake of our rivals and for the sake of a lot of United fans that seem to be in denial about some of their players and specifically their goalkeeper. Please, if you do watch this, consider this an intervention, a non-judgmental confrontation, a bit similar to what happened with Christopher in Sopranos, that intervention scene. However, that was very confrontational. I'm sure this will go a lot smoother than that one did. Um, Firstly, what I just wanted to say was, you guys took a hell of a beating yesterday. And I feel I can say that because, one, it happened, and two, Arsenal have had those beatings as well. For the last, maybe not so much this year, but they might change on Wednesday against City, but up until now, up until this season, we've been getting slapped by teams all over the place. And it's terrible to watch. And everyone has their favourite players, and they protect them. And I see a lot of United fans doing this with the likes of David De Gea, the goalie. And I wanted to ask kind of a question out loud about De Gea and United fans, which is, what are the goals? If you're a fan of Man United, what are the goals? What are you looking to achieve season to season? Is it just kind of like scrape into the Champions League, maybe have a decent cup run, and that's that? I don't think it's that. I don't think one of the richest clubs in the world, that should be their target. I would have thought it would be to win and challenge for Premier League titles, and go really deep into the top level European competitions, basically the Champions League, and that's not really happened for United recently. I mean, they have got to finals of the European Cup, I suppose, but in terms of the league, they've been way off in points wise from the top. I mean, they're in third or fourth at the moment. They got a good chance of finishing third, but they'll still be massive points behind the winners. And it's, how do you close that gap? And is a goalie like David De Gea going to help you close that gap? Another way of looking at it is, would David De Gea start for Arsenal? No. Would he start for Man City? No. Would he start for Liverpool? No. Newcastle, who you're fighting with, would he start for Newcastle? Pope, De Gea? I don't think De Gea would start ahead of Pope. Would he start for Tottenham ahead of Lloris? I think that one's more of a 50-50, really. And I think that's the level that he's at. Another way to look at it was, if David De Gea was put up for sale, who would be interested in buying him? None of the top clubs. None of the top clubs in Spain are going to want him. None of the top clubs in England would want him. PSG, I mean, no, they've got Donnarumma. I mean, there's no top clubs that are going to be going in or wanting that goalie. And if he's not good enough for them, how can he be good enough for Man United? And it's one thing saying, okay, well, we've got this player, but we can't move him on. He's on really big wages. But it sounds like the club are kind of happy with him, and a lot of the fans seem to be happy with him as well. But I just don't see how you get back to challenging for top honours with him as your goalie. And I feel like, as Arsenal fans, we've kind of seen that story before. We've held on to goalies for way too long, hoping they're going to turn a corner, change, improve. De Gea's not going to get any better, by the way. The age he's at, I mean, he's still got quite a few years left as a goalie, but I don't think he's going to suddenly develop better reflexes or get better with the ball at his feet. I think what he is now is what he'll probably be for the next several seasons. And Arsenal, we had it with Almunia. Just a terrible goal. I mean, Almunia was, De Gea was better than Almunia. I would probably be fair to say that. But we held on for him for too long. Just wasn't right. Even Bernd Leno, he came in, he was okay. But you just felt again that the way the team wanted to play, playing out of the back, possession-based football, he wasn't the right goalie for that. We weren't going to start phases of play with Bernd Leno as our number one goalie, and that's ultimately why he was moved on. And ultimately, that's what should happen with De Gea. Either that, or you bring in a number two that's really, really going to push him. I have no idea who the Man U number two goalie is, so maybe they've got that already, but I don't see that guy getting many minutes at the moment. So I'm assuming he's not really pushing De Gea that hard. So I would just say to United fans, try and be real about the situation that you're in. There are several players there that you all seem to be hanging around for, and it's just not going to work out. And I think De Gea's the first one I would put on that. Obviously, you've got the likes of Maguire, who I don't actually think is as bad as everyone says he is, but he's just completely not suited to. He's not suited to the system at all. Now, I don't think there are many United fans actually that are defending Maguire and think he should be starting. But he's another one that, you know, you're really going to have an £80 million backup centre back. He's your captain. Needs to be changes made there. You've got Varane. He's injured at the moment, I believe. He missed the game yesterday. He was injured or suspended. Either way, he didn't play. But he's a top draw defender. But again, he's getting on a bit now. He's going to be in his 30s. So how much longer has he got at the top level in the Premier League? I don't know. For me, it's a question mark. You know, maybe he could be like Thiago Silva and go on for another 5-6 years, or could he be a Van Dijk where in the next couple of years he just goes off a cliff? So potentially you might have a problem. You might have a problem there. So you've got some money to spend. Well, the Glazers have got money to spend, but they don't seem to want to spend it. Further up the pitch, we have the likes of Sancho, 75 million-ish. He missed a few months of the season with, I don't know, it was obviously some kind of personal problem. The club didn't go into too many details on that, which is fair enough. But it wasn't like he had an ankle break or something like that. There was obviously some kind of mental aspect of the game that he was struggling with. I don't know if this happened to him at Dortmund. I don't remember hearing anything about him having these kinds of problems when he was at Dortmund. It seems to have surfaced since he's come back to the UK. But it's not happening, is it? And the United fans kind of going, oh, we need to stick with him or give him time. He's had lots of time. And he seems like a player that needs to have kind of perfect circumstances in order to deliver the goods. And that's just very rare to happen, you know, be it on the pitch, off the pitch. He doesn't seem like someone who can just drag himself out of a situation and take control of the game. You know, Anthony yesterday was probably United's best player, but that wasn't saying much. But he was always kind of looking like he might be able to do something, or he was trying to do something. No word of a lie, I didn't realise Sancho was playing. It was about 15 minutes in, and I kind of saw him on the ball and went, oh, I didn't even see that he'd started. And if United want to get to where they want to get to, you're not going to do it with the likes of Sancho in the team, or David De Gea, or Harry Maguire, Wout Weghorst. I mean, I think most United fans understand he's not good enough. And that was just a stopgap kind of situation, really. So, very tough times for Man United at the moment, I feel. But oddly enough, despite that, they have won a cup and are in a good position for getting top four. But it's a cliche, but this is Man United we're talking about here. They should be right at the top of the Premier League. And they're not. They're quite a way off it, and I think they're a way off it off the pitch and on the pitch. The boardroom situation is just a proper shit show at the moment. I don't know what kind of scouting team they've got there. It doesn't seem to be. I mean, they're missing out on so many players that are scouted and bought by rivals. And I'm trying to think of like the last player United bought at a reasonable fee that just turned out to be a really, really good signing for them. I'm sure there must be one in there. I wouldn't even put someone like Garnacho in there because he's what was he, 18, 19? He's still got lots to prove. But they overpay for players, and it's not really doesn't seem to be working out. I mean, Martinez has been a good signing for them, but they paid a lot of money for him. I mean, Arsenal wanted to buy him, and we had to walk away because it was just too much money. And I think he wanted to go back and play with Ten Hag. So, but like I said, this is mainly aimed at the delusional United fans that feel that De Gea is the one to stick around in goal, doesn't need replacing. It's just, I hope he stays. Put it that way. All rival fans are hoping that United stick with De Gea, stick with Maguire, stick with Wan-Bissaka. I mean, he's been there a few years now. £50 million right back. Has he got any better? Has he improved? And he's at the age range where he should be improving. He's had a season under Ten Hag. Maybe he has got better, but are United any more solid with him in the team? Can he provide the forward play and the link-up play that they need? And I'm not convinced he is. In fact, from what I see, the style of United doesn't really seem to have moved on from when Solskjaer was manager. They're not they seem to play best when they're a counter-attacking team. And I don't think that's really what Ten Hag wants. And that's the kind of last part of my video is, at what point do United fans start questioning Ten Hag? I'm not saying they should get rid of him or anything like that, but I very rarely, all United fans just seem to be 100% behind Ten Hag. And what is it, because he won you a Carabao Cup? There have been some really bad results this year. Brentford got slapped. Brighton at the beginning of the season, you got beat. Liverpool 7. Newcastle recently, was that 2 or 3-0? City, Haaland and I think Foden each getting a hat-trick. Shipping 6. I mean, you've taken some heavy beatings. And Ten Hag, there's not real much kind of questioning longer term about, is this the right guy for us? And it always seems to go back to the Glazers and not the manager. Now Arsenal have had periods where we've been getting slapped, and Arteta has taken some serious beatings. We had it where I think it was actually last year at the beginning of the season where Chelsea put 4 past us, City put 5 past us. That was like the first 2 or 3 games of the season. It's horrific. And the questions were being asked. People were going, well, hold on a minute. He's bought players. He's bought Ben White £50 million. He's bought Ramsdale £30 million. What's going on? Why are we getting slapped like this? And, Arteta came very close to losing his job. Obviously, the club made the right decision and kept him on. I'm not saying that they should get rid of Ten Hag. But at what point do you start going, oh, is this actually the guy that we need or that we want? Is there a better option out there? Now, whether that better option actually works in terms of the structure that you have behind the scenes at Man United, I mean, that's a completely different conversation. But yeah, anyway, I've not seen many United fans questioning Ten Hag on things, and if I was a United fan, I definitely would be, because regardless of who the owners are, you shouldn't be getting beat 3-0 away to Sevilla, and you shouldn't be shipping 7 at Liverpool and 6 at City. Obviously Arsenal are going to City next week on Wednesday, so no doubt this is going to blow up in my face. But this isn't about Arsenal. This is about Man United and viewing things through the lens of an Arsenal fan. So it's been quite a long video, so I'm going to cut this short now. Hopefully I might have another one later on after the Southampton game. Fingers crossed I'll be able to watch that. And yeah, thanks for watching. Be great if you could like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye bye.